What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to the brother Clayton Phillips with the donation to the channel via the PayPal. Much respect to him for once again showing love to the channel. I truly appreciate it. He's a big time basketball fan, long time NBA fan, and is very creative in his thinking. So much respect to him for showing love to the channel. Also want to give a shout out, forgot to shout him out. Want to give a shout out to the brother Daryl Sloan for the donation to the channel. It's a couple days late with this, but shout out to the brother Daryl Sloan with the donation to the channel via the Cash App. I did not see if you had a video request. I didn't see a request attached to the donation, so you might want to message me if there was an actual video request that you had. You know what I'm saying? Because that donation was a couple of days ago. So anyway, Clayton asked me a question. He said, "What if the Charlotte Hornets had traded Kobe Bryant to the Philadelphia 76ers during the 1996 NBA draft instead of the Lakers, which would have paired him with Allen Iverson?" And let's say that happens. Let's say that instead of Kobe Bryant going to the Lakers, as he ultimately did, he went to the Sixers. Now, of course, this would have been a totally different situation. Kobe Bryant's from Philly. So in essence, it's almost like he's in a LeBron James situation, but not nearly the media hype, not nearly the hype. But he's playing for his hometown, Philly. When you first think about it, you tend to want to say, this is going to be a slam dunk, absolute, dream teammate situation. This is going to work out. This is going to lead to multiple championships potentially. That's how you want to, especially if you're an Allen Iverson fan, right? But I got to admit, as I thought about it a little bit more, I had to come to the conclusion that this is one of those situations that has a high bust potential. It has a high bust potential. It could work. However, I think in order for this to have worked, Allen Iverson probably would have had to have altered his game a bit. All right, he would have had to alter his game a little bit, which I'm not sure he would have wanted to do, especially that early in his career. Because you got to remember, in real life, Allen Iverson was technically the point guard for the Philadelphia 76ers, right? The first couple of years, technically. Their shooting guard was Jerry Stackhouse. First couple of years in the NBA, Iverson averaged about 23 points a game, I think. But once Jerry Stackhouse got out of there, Iverson became a perennial scoring leader and wound up winning 4 scoring titles, right? Stylistically, Stackhouse and Iverson didn't mesh very well together. As a matter of fact, when you look at Iverson's career, whenever he was teamed up with another big-time scorer, there were some struggles there, especially in Philly. Philly didn't really get good until they built a specific team around Allen Iverson, right? When they built a specific team which was defensive orientated, other players didn't really demand the basketball on an offensive basis, garbage players. When I say garbage players, I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. I mean, that they were there, to do their specific roles, play defense, rebound, in some instances, catch and shoot. A few catch and shoot 3-point shooters, but Iverson was the guy who ran the offense, and Iverson was the guy who the offense ran through, and that was pretty much that's how that team was successful. That team was built specifically to be successful around Allen Iverson. In order to do that, they had to get rid of Jerry Stackhouse, who was their first overall pick the year prior, in '95. And it wasn't like Stackhouse wasn't a good player, but ultimately management felt, the Sixers felt, Iverson was the superior player. So when push come to shove, they traded Jerry Stackhouse. Look, this scenario will be a little different from Kobe and the Lakers. Well, actually, a lot different. Shaq was the big fish. Shaq was the big enchilada. Shaq was the man at that point, right? Kobe wasn't really known yet, obviously. Kobe didn't come into the NBA with the hoopla like a LeBron James. Or hell, even a Victor Wembanyama. He didn't have that. It was a totally different. See, look, back then, the general consensus was a guy coming out of high school, going pro, probably is making a mistake. He's probably making a mistake. He'll probably benefit from a couple of years of college at the very least. That was the general consensus about guys who didn't go to college, came right out of high school. And the facts before that, the evidence before that added credence to that statement, because virtually every player before Kobe Bryant either struggled and was out the league in a couple of years who didn't go to college, or their careers never quite became what it could have been. Even Darryl Dawkins, who I believe came right out of high school, he never developed the game that he should have because he didn't go to college. And back then, the NBA operated more on a merit system. Sure, you had instances where this young phenom player was killing in practice. But, because of the fact that, Eddie Jones had been in the NBA a couple of years, he's going to start over Kobe. That's what we saw in LA for a couple of years. You had a lot of veterans on that Laker team. So while Kobe was destroying in practice, he wasn't getting many minutes. And it didn't help that their coach at the time, who I believe was Dale Harris, did not like young players playing a lot of minutes, rookies playing a lot of minutes. It's just not what Dale Harris's system, or what his team, or what he preferred. Now, the Sixers are in a different situation a little bit. Expectations are a lot lower. Plus, this is Philadelphia, which is Kobe Bryant's hometown. In my estimation, I think Kobe plays a little bit more than he did in LA. I think Kobe's first year he played 15 minutes a game, averaged 7 points a night. So I would say with the Sixers he averages about 25 minutes a night and maybe 13 minutes. 25 minutes a night, maybe 13 points per game. I think he gets somewhere in that range. Allen Iverson still is the same situation. Jerry Stackhouse and he are you know what I'm saying? It's still the same situation. Stackhouse numbers may actually go down because Kobe's getting more minutes. And Stackhouse is probably going to be out of there faster in this scenario because there's only been so many basketballs, right? So I would say potentially after that first year, 97, Jerry Stackhouse asked for a trade and he's out of there. I don't know where he goes, but he's out of there. Now, you got two young alpha male personality players, very competitive, competing for whose team it is. Iverson had the glory, but Kobe's catching up because of some of his performances. In certain games, when Kobe's getting more minutes, he's winning more of the trust. I cannot remember who the hell the coach was back then. I cannot remember. I think it was like Johnny Dawkins? No, it wasn't Johnny Dawkins. Johnny Davis? I can't remember who the hell the coach was the first couple of years. But he's winning the coach's trust, which means that he's starting to play down the stretch of certain games. You know what I'm saying? That they're trusting Kobe in certain moments. And he's improving by leaps and bounds. AI and him still squabble a little bit about whose team it is. Now, the problem I'm having with this scenario is there's also the potential for their egos to destroy this whole thing, like Shaq and Penny. You know what I mean? There's that dynamic that could destroy this whole situation. Kobe is not in a scenario where Shaq has so many years on him. Shaq is 6 years older. Shaq is the veteran. Shaq is the general. Shaq was physically imposing. AI was a small dude, you know what I'm saying? But he had a lot of fucking heart, as we all know, right? I could see Kobe being a little bit more assertive, talking trash to AI, like serious trash. And I could see them coming to situations where they come with the blows, want to fight each other. But that earns each one of them, I'm thinking, the respect of the other. Ultimately. Real recognizes real, right? That's what I want to believe. I'm leaning towards that. Because like I said, I think this situation could have, like I say, a high bust potential. Because you know how like these guys can be, man. It's my team. I want to be the man. You know, Kobe was on that. And I think that could have accelerated in this scenario. So I think what happens is this. I think playing with Kobe, it would be best for AI to be more of a playmaker for this to work. That doesn't mean that Kobe's going to come out there every night and shoot the ball 25, 30 times. Can't do that. They're going to have to learn how to play with each other. But I think playing with Kobe on the Sixers, I think it would have been better spacing wise with Kobe on the team. I think it would have been better if they would have kept, instead of getting Mutombo in 2000, let's just say they're building a team around that's successful. I think it's better to keep Theo Ratliff than get Mutombo, because Theo Ratliff's smaller. I mean, he was a beast of a shot blocker. But I think that they could have kept Theo Ratliff. He's smaller, he's quicker. Because Kobe's going to drive the lanes, right? And they have a 7'2" dude, you know. I'm just thinking about the spacing. Maybe they keep Theo Ratliff and maybe keep Tony Kukoc and move Tony to the 4. Have him be a stretch 4. or maybe play Tony at the small forward. Now I think about it, play Tony at the 4, and maybe get a guy like was Danny Force in the NBA yet? Oh, I'm thinking about this shit. I want a rebounder at the power forward position. Yep, he was. I get a guy like Danny Fortson. Let me see. He averaged 7 rebounds a game for his career. 8.7 rebounds. Another guy that demands the ball. See, this is what I liked about Danny Fortson before injury took a toll on him. You look at 2001, 2002. Those are the only 2 years where he averaged, the years in which he averaged closer to 30 minutes a night. Look at that, 11.7 rebounds, 11.6 rebounds, 16.3 rebounds through 6 games. Now, he probably wouldn't have kept that up. But you see what I'm saying? You get Danny Fortson 30 minutes a night, he's going to average 12, 13 rebounds for you. I don't want to do nothing else but average fucking rebounds. Just get rebounds. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah. Anyway, show that team up. The Sixers, the Eastern Conference was kind of weak at that point. At the very least, they go into multiple NBA Finals. Now, with Kobe and AI on that team, and the right type of team around them, rugged, physical, with a touch of outside shooting, yeah, I think a team can win a couple championships, man. I do. I think the problem is the first couple of years of them trying to work it out. But if AI sees what Kobe is capable of doing, and he buys into, because they're going to have to get a dynamic coach. I even wonder, in this scenario, if Phil Jackson, instead of going to the Lakers, goes to the Sixers. I even wonder that in this scenario. I wonder if he goes to Philly. I'm going to do that. Fuck it. Phil going to Philly. We're going to change history in this motherfucker. Phil going to Philly after his stint in Chicago. He going to take a year off, like he did. He going to take a year off and then go to Philly. And then they're going to win some titles there. I said we, but because I'm a bit of an Iverson fan a little bit too. But yeah, that's the scenario I got in my head right now, man. That's the scenario I got in my head right now. So I think maybe something like that could happen. That's the upside. That's the positive. But I think the first couple of years there's a little bit of it's gonna be rough. Man, it's gonna be rough. They're gonna be losing. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be some games they're gonna win off of just sheer talent alone, but it's gonna be rough in the playoffs. But once they get things together, once they learn how to play with each other, I think it can work. And I do believe that AI could augment his game to win. I don't believe this thing that AI was incapable of winning with other great players. That's bullshit. But anyway, that's just my take on it, man. Tell me what you guys think.